Hey, it's Matt Haycox here, and welcome to another weekly roundup where I talk about everything I've been up to in the week, what's gone good, what's gone bad, and what you guys can learn from it too and implement in your lives and implement in your businesses. It is Sunday the 17th of November today, sunny day, looking out the window here in Dubai. Lots has been going on. It's been a very, very busy week. I feel like over the last few months I've been caught up in a lot of minutiae and non-core stuff and unnecessary things, which have been a massive distraction to progress and getting on with the core businesses. But I feel like the last week starting to find some solid footing again and move things forward. So let me tell you about some of the key events in the week for me and what's been good. We've actually here on Sunday morning just finished a content recording session here at the house. Obviously, you know I make quite a bit of content online. Hopefully that's how you know me, that's why you follow me. Over the last few months I've still been doing a lot of podcasts, but I haven't made as many advice videos, educational videos as I have done in the past. It's a combination of probably really just not having my mojo together on it, to be honest. And when I'm busy running the day-to-day businesses, sometimes it can feel like a headache or a distraction. And if my head's really not in it, then I just either do a bad job or it takes too long or I get grumpy. So I think I've just been putting off content recording. But one thing I've wanted to do lately is to transcript my videos more. Obviously not something like this. This is, I've obviously got my notes of the things I'm going to talk to you about now, but it's certainly not a scripted video. This is just pure ad-lib. I think I've tried to ad-lib too many videos before. I don't know why, probably out of, I don't know, almost like an ego thing really, that I think, well, if I understand that topic, then I should just be able to riff about it. And there's a material difference to being able to, I guess, just talk, one-on-one or, talk to a crowd than there is preparing a video that needs to be then edited and produced well and perform well online. If you look at all the big guys, even though they're experts in their field, and most of their content is highly planned, highly scripted, highly produced and edited. So just tried to take a leaf out of their book and do some more planning. So I'm going to probably work to 1 or 2 content days, or certainly content half days a month, and just put a lot more effort in to the pre-planning and to the preparation, and hopefully therefore have less to do on the day itself. I don't know what the metrics are to talk about yet, but for me and my team, primarily the team, to have 3, 4, 5 days of planning for every 1 day of filming, I think we'll ultimately be able to get much better results, much better output, and work at a better scale. I mean, this morning we just blasted through 5 or 6 scripts. These are probably videos that will turn into 8 to 10 minute long videos, and honestly, I know in the past I've tried to make a video that was probably 8 to 10 minutes and probably had to piss around recording, re-recording, coming up with ideas, stuttering my way through it for 45 minutes, an hour, sometimes more. But having had an organised script put together today for these, blasted through them in probably only 20 or 30% more time than the actual video will be in terms of its length. So save so much time. I think it looks so much more fluent. So if you guys do make content, I think advice of the day is preparation time. Put that preparation in, and when it comes down to the day of recording, you will have a much easier day and smoother and hopefully much better output. While we're talking content creation, let's talk podcasts as well. And I'll give a little plug for me, by the way. If you do listen to my podcast or podcasts, I've got 2 of them now. One which is the weekly deep dive with a celebrity guest that we've always done for probably 5 or 6 years now, and a shorter form one which we do 3 or 4 episodes a week on, which is probably, if you're listening to the audio version of this, where you're hearing this, which is called No Bollocks with Matt Haycox. And we do that so I can have quicker produced content, less expensively produced content, and the two don't kind of cross over with each other. But we built this podcast from a standing start at the beginning of this year. This is 2024, beginning of the year, and we are hitting probably around 40 or 50,000 audio downloads a month on it. The YouTube channel merges in with everything else, so it's hard to split the metrics out off the top of my head. But in terms of audio, 40 or 50,000 audio downloads a month, which is well into the top 1% of podcasts at that point. And the way we've done it, and I think everyone needs to pay attention and take note here, is with podcast audio adverts. So 2 things. First, let's talk about the adverts themselves. If you've asked me 6 months ago, as far as I'm concerned, you've got iTunes and you've got Spotify, or Apple Podcasts rather, and Spotify, and they're the two places where people will go to listen to the podcast. I mean, in my head, why would there be anything else? You've got Apple Podcasts if you're on an iPhone, and you've got Spotify if you're on Android. I have learnt that there are multiple other podcast platforms out there, things like Castbox and Podbean, and I can't even remember the names, but other podcast listening platforms that people not only use, but they have on them space for in-app advertising at the top. So you imagine you're watching on the podcast home screen, you're listening to a podcast, and across the top it will have adverts for other podcasts. You can buy placement on there, you can buy sponsorship space, and that's what we started doing. And honestly, I mean, never mind 10x, the two podcasts that we've been promoting, 40, 50, 60x whilst the ads are running. Even when the ads have stopped, the tail off is still only marginal, and then we advertise again, and up again it goes. So if you've got a podcast and you want to get some reach, really do look into these podcast audio ads. If you want me or my team to do it for you, then you can reach out. We can have a talk about that as well. I have a digital marketing agency. My guys who run all of my stuff, we also work with some third-party clients as well. So please do have a chat with us about podcasts if you have one and you're looking to grow it, or if you don't have one and you're looking to start one. There's not much in the podcast world we haven't found out by trial and error and the hard way, and we can shortcut that learning curve for you guys and get you firing on all podcast cylinders nice and quickly. But I think the other takeaway from this as well is people have a bit of a mental ego block about paid advertisements in general, and everybody wants that organic dream of just natural organic content reach and getting thousands of likes or thousands of comments and views organically. The reality is, and I'm not saying you can't get the odd viral video, and I'm not saying some people haven't managed to grow well on social without spending a penny. Even if you look at the big guys, the really big guys, and look, in my space we're talking, Hormozis, Gary V's, Grant Cardone's, Ty Lopez's, etc. These guys may have great organic reach on the platform they've got now, but they have historically and still currently pay tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of pounds to proactively push that content and push their profiles using paid advertising. Now, to be clear here, we're not talking about buying fake followers, buying fake bots. We're talking about paying to have your content served up in front of an audience that is the audience that you want to get yourself in front of. And if you've got the budgets to do this, I cannot recommend it enough. There's no ego play or vanity play here that's like, oh, I've paid for people to see my content. I mean, listen, this is just marketing. And what is marketing? Marketing is paying to get eyeballs. If I was talking to you about putting your name on the back of a bus, or having an advert on whatever TV channel you listen to, you watch in your home country, or having a billboard on the side of a street, you would equate that to eyeballs, and you would think it would do you good, and you would happily be expecting to pay to put yourself up there. But when it comes to social media, there seems to be a big mental block about paying for anything, and maybe that is because there's such a proliferation of the fake accounts and the fake bots and stuff out there. But if you can pay to get yourself seen in front of the right audiences, and you've got the budgets to do it, spend, invest, because once you've got that audience, you'll get greater organic reach anyway. But like I say, all marketing is paying to get eyeballs where you want them. And the bigger you can build your brands, the more opportunities that are going to come from it. So I've been working hard on content and investing heavily in YouTube ads, Spotify, Meta, so Instagram, Facebook, and also other ads on podcast platforms. So hopefully that's going to pay off. You're going to see more of me, hear more from me. I mean, recently here in Dubai, I've been to the gym a few times lately, and people have come up to me in the gym and said, "Oh, I don't know what you're doing with your Spotify ads, but they must be working because I recognise you from your podcast." I tell you, we haven't been spending big budgets on Spotify, hundreds of pounds a month, certainly not thousands, but the ability to target very specifically who the audience is, what allows it to work for me in Dubai, or work for me in certain certain towns or areas back of the UK. So content creation, podcast advertising, and paid advertising on social in general, not only worth considering, I would say an essential part of your marketing strategy. Hey, Matt here, just interrupting myself quickly to say thank you for listening to No Bollocks. But did you also know I've got another podcast, Stripping Off
with Matt Haycox. Very different. No Bollocks is the quick daily business tactics that you need, but stripping off, we go deep, deep, deep with a CEO, with a celebrity, with an athlete, with an international inspiring character. We find out what makes them tick, we find out how they got to where they got to, and we find out how you can learn and benefit from them too. So jump on over to Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you listen to your content, and I'll see you on a future episode.